Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. We have made it to Friday. On the Steve Malzberg Show from our New York City studios, Andy McCarthy, contributing editor for National Review, will join us momentarily to discuss National Review's endorsement today of Ted Cruz. So don't go away. I want to start with just a little bit from the funeral of Nancy Reagan. So many dignitaries there. The front row was representatives of almost every presidential family that's still alive. You had G.W. Bush himself was there. Of course, the First Lady, Michelle Obama, was there because Barack Obama couldn't make it. You had Rosalind Carter. You had Laura Bush. You had Caroline Kennedy. And over 1,000 people in an overflow invite-only crowd at the Reagan Presidential Library as they laid Nancy Reagan to rest, just inches from her dear beloved Ronnie. And Tom Brokaw was one of the many to eulogize Nancy Reagan, and I thought this was kind of touching and funny.
Shortly after his inauguration as president, I made some public comments about his early years, in which I said I thought the poor boy narrative was somewhat overblown. Nancy was furious. Finally, I stood before her and I spontaneously said, "Nancy, back to square one." She looked at me for a moment, broke up laughing, and said, "Tom, back to square one." The next day, a White House photograph of that very moment arrived with the inscription, "Tom, back to square one, love, Nancy."
Yeah, and there were just so many stories, and it was done just the way she wanted to do it. We're going to talk more about Nancy Reagan and play you some more from the funeral with Sonia Nasseri-Cole later in the show, so keep it tuned right here. All right, Ben Carson today endorsing Donald Trump. Watch.
One of the real factors for me is what will happen if we allow the political operatives to succeed in their endeavor to stop Donald Trump. But if we allow this attempt to disrupt the will of the people to be successful, it will fracture the party in an irreparable way. And that will hand the election to people who I personally believe would destroy our country.
All right, so there you have Ben Carson endorsing Donald Trump. Donald Trump then saying he's tired of debates. He thought the last debate was last Tuesday. He's kind of done with Thursday rather, yesterday. So he said, isn't that the last debate? Now he wants the networks to contribute the profits to wounded warriors, etc. So I don't know if it's just bluster or whether or not he'll be at the next debate. We shall see. I mentioned National Review endorsing Ted Cruz. Andy McCarthy joins us momentarily. But it's very interesting. You now also have Marco Rubio urging his supporters in Ohio to vote on Tuesday for John Kasich as a way to stop Donald Trump. Are you following me on all this? When I see it this way. I see if Trump wins Florida, which I think he will, and if he should win Ohio, which he may or may not, Kasich looks pretty strong, it's over. That's just my opinion. All right, that's just my opinion. And what really do I know?